Hello, you beautiful people. And James. And welcome back, guys. Today we bring you another new video. Now, this is a requested video through a different source. So thank you, Patrick. Hopefully it come to the Discord next time. Yeah. So this is Chat GPT. So it's some artificial intelligence thing. I've looked a little bit into it. It's kind of cool, but scary at the same time. So, yeah, I haven't looked into it too much because I want to go down the rabbit hole with you two.
Okay. Now, before we get started, introductions. I'm James, also known as Lost King James. Below me is Geo. And at the very bottom, if you're returning here, you would notice he looks a little different. He got a bald head. Bulldog.
Oh, the beard.
Yeah, the beard.
All right.
That face.
Ooh.
I'm smiling.
He looks like a thumb. Sorry, Bulldog.
Oh, no, that's funny. Don't apologize for a good joke. Damn. oh shit, that was hilarious, bro. I actually saw myself. As soon as you said it, I just thought, fucking hell, yeah. Just a dirty thumb.
With some stank on it.
Oh shit, motherfucker needs cleans now.
Oh, that was funny. Damn. Sorry, Bulldog.
Oh, no, don't. That was funny. Don't apologize for a good joke, mate.
All right, guys.
Why?
We are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers soon, maybe today. We can't do it without your help. Smash that thumbs up button because it really helps with the algorithms, and click that bell notification because you can stay tuned to everything we release daily.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. Let's go ahead and check out what ChatGPT could mean for the future.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
But I want to talk about ChatGPT.
Have you tried it?
Fascinating question. Have you experimented with it at all?
I have not, but someone, the gentleman who runs the JRE companion page, made a rap with ChatGPT. Like, was it if Kanye West wrote a rap for ChatGPT? They put it on Instagram, but it's like, it seems like a person saying it. Like,
you want to try it?
No.
We can try anything you want.
I mean, it takes a long time.
Really.
His thing took like 48 minutes to do.
Well, whatever you want to look up right now, we can do it.
Yeah, the problem is you have to cajole it. It'll get something wrong, and you have to say, no,
let's just explain
not that
what
way.
it is.
So ChatGPT is a large language model trained artificial intelligence.
Pause it.
Which is...
I'm sorry. Hey, I gotta add. He says this. He says that he has to correct it sometimes when it spits out the wrong stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's trying to correct it. You know, I felt like talking a lot just now. I felt it coming.
Let's just say it can be awful, but it is often surprisingly good at answering questions you might have about how to do things. One of the great triumphs of it is that coders are now asking it to solve coding problems, and it will actually write code that is functional. It's pretty amazing. And it also, there's an implementation of it that if you feed it up to 3 tweets, it will write a New York Times story in one of 5 genres, optimistic, pessimistic, neutral. And, you don't really need the New York Times anymore because it's pretty good at this job, right? So on the one hand, it's all very interesting that we're living in an era.
It actually doesn't.
I know what you're trying to say.
At least, I mean, and this is a prototype, right? This is a prototype that was specifically trained and then placed on the internet so people could play with it. And I've seen lots of interesting uses. It's going to get better, right? We're dealing with ChatGPT 3. There's going to be a ChatGPT 4, which is going to be that much better because it will be built with the improvements that have been gained through turning this one loose on the world. But I have to say, I am quite alarmed. Not only that this thing exists, but I don't think we're ready for it. And I don't think we're ready for it in a couple different ways. I mean, if you want to comfort yourself and say, well, this isn't that serious that we have this AI that can do these really shocking things, the comforting thing is that the way it's programmed, it doesn't know what it's saying. It doesn't matter that it convinces you that it's saying something and it means
True.
it.
Has
and
no
that
conscience.
it
How do
seems
you
like a
know he
creative-
doesn't know what he's saying? Like, how do they know that it doesn't know what it's saying?
Because of the program. You can read the code.
We're programs.
that it's saying something and it means it, and that it seems
Pause.
like a creative entity.
Because school is the programming. What if we was never taught anything?
Well,
What
I
will we
was-
think?
That's literally what I was thinking. When you said that, I was thinking, like,
Yeah,
I know you
yeah.
didn't mean the Matrix, like with
Mhm,
computers.
yeah,
I
yeah,
knew
yeah.
you didn't mean that. I was just like, how? What the fuck's he on
Yeah.
about?
School's the
systems,
programmer.
School,
Yeah.
media, everything that's teaching us things to all think the same.
We're the
It's a program.
program. That's true.
Yes.
And
That's
then
true.
also the parents, because we're telling them the laws, what you're allowed to do. Like,
Because we were brought up
don't
so
go on
wrong.
that chair. And it's to them,
Stop
it's not a
jumping, stop
chair.
running, stop
Yeah,
yelling.
to them, it was some fun thing. And then
To
we
them, it was
tell
a
them,
castle.
no, that's bad. And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, okay.
What us parents are doing nowadays is forcing the kid out of theta earlier than it should be.
Yeah,
They
well,
should be able to explore the dragons and dungeons and mystical creatures for a longer
Exactly.
period of time than what they are doing now. They're
Yeah.
cut off so early from that magical belief system, straight to the work field. Make money, make money, make money, make money.
That's true.
straight into that
But let's-
But
capitalism machine.
they never teach you how to make money.
That's true.
You just know you gotta
Or-
do it.
No, dude, they don't even teach you how to pay taxes. They don't
Yeah,
teach you the
that's also
fundamental
true.
thing of
Inflation,
how our
all
system
that.
works.
Absolutely.
They don't teach you your
Yeah.
human fucking rights
don't,
as a
but-
human being.
They
So we are
don't, but
programmed.
let's see what ChatGPT could do for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Saying something and it means it, and that it seems like a creative
So
entity.
Mark's been lost.
What it's doing is it is basically using a predictive model that has been trained on a huge data set of written language, right? So the answer is, if you take 3 words in a row, can you predict what the next word is going to be? And they've allowed it, they've exposed it to a large data set, and it's gotten really good at predicting basically these sequences to the point that it can now,
okay.
if you prompt it correctly, it can spit out these
I understand.
very long explanations. Some of them are dead wrong. Sometimes they're right on target.
Pause.
But-
I know what's going on. Hey.
Oh.
All right. Hey, picture this, James. What will we be with a conscience, purely conscious with no ego? Something that can figure shit out without being taught.
Yes. That's what the ChatGPT
That's what
is.
an AI is.
That's
An
what
AI
I-
is intelligence
Something
with
that
no
can
ego.
figure something out without being told what to figure out.
Very long explanations. Some of them are dead wrong. Sometimes they're right on target. But I have 2 concerns about it. One, if you imagine that this thing just gets a little better than it is, which is inevitable, that it's going to make actual insight that much harder to spot, right? In other words, if you become expert at operating this thing, at querying it, and it becomes better at understanding a wider range of topics because they turn it loose on everything that's written on the internet, for example, right? Then the point is the
dangerous.
ability to fake expertise is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
I don't
gonna
think
know
we
what's
know
real.
how we're going to police
That's
a world
true.
in
That's
which,
true.
I mean,
There's
this,
no
this
way.
problem's
Yeah.
already bad enough. Most academics are fakers. They don't know that, right? They trained in something. They wrote a dissertation.
Well,
They
yeah,
think
but
they're experts.
because what? Sorry. What? Yeah, because he's right there. Because we're always proving theories wrong. So people who thought they were right are proven wrong continuously throughout humanity. We're always evolving, but we're kind of not because we're always wrong. You get what I mean?
Yeah. That's why it's theories. Mostly they're just theories, and they categorize
no,
it
that's
as
not-
theories.
That's not the meaning in science. No, that's not the meaning in science. Like the theory of gravity, it's not a theory; it's
No,
fact.
it's facts. It's proof.
Yeah. So in a scientific meaning, theory isn't maybe, it's usually yes. It's different in scientific fields. Yeah, completely different. Theory doesn't mean the same. It's weird.
I
but
think
yeah.
scientific talk is like on a whole different
Oh yeah,
language
it
spectrum. They
definitely
use
is.
different
Yeah.
words and terms. I think
Mm.
science talk is the true language, right?
Mm.
Because they don't say
'Cause-
all this BS to try to prove one point.
Yeah, because like they go like what was it? Conspiracy. Oh, it's the theory of evolution. No, it's just the scientific word for it. It's fact. That's how it happened. They just call it the theory. It's like it's just the way it is. I'm just going off what I've seen and my research. Like,
Yeah.
but the thing is, at the end of the day, we all agree with Neil. But in 100 years, he could be fucking wrong,
Right.
and we won't even fucking know about it.
The more technology we get, the
Right?
Yeah.
They trained in something, they
Fact.
wrote a dissertation, they think they're experts, but you can see when something unexpected happens, like the pandemic, you get just broad scale failure across entire disciplines where nobody seems to get it right, right? So in
Fact.
that world, this is going to be even worse because now you have an artificial intelligence able to generate things in plain English that are often full of true information, but you don't know whether what generated it is some, brain dead model or something
corporation
else.
going after
That's
money,
one concern. And then the other concern is
like Pfizer.
when we say, well, ChatGPT doesn't know what it's saying. It's not conscious. We know it's not conscious because it's not programmed to have a consciousness. We are actually ignoring the other half of the story, which is that we don't know how human consciousness works, and we don't know how it develops in a child, right? A child is exposed to a world of adults talking around them, and the child
We were saying,
experiments first with
So,
phonemes and
y'all
then
just said that.
words and then clusters of words and then sentences. And by doing something that isn't all that far from what ChatGPT is doing, it ends up becoming a conscious individual. And so
Yep.
I think it's clear that ChatGPT isn't conscious. It couldn't be. But
Not
it
yet.
isn't clear to me, at least, that we are not suddenly stepping onto a process that produces that very quickly
Yep.
without us even necessarily knowing it.
We're making it
Absolutely.
conscious. We're making it
And
conscious.
the thing is, all the scientists are warning about AI. They're
Yeah.
literally all warning about it. But humans are so dumb, we're going to keep pushing it. It's like, why? Everyone's warning. Don't fucking do it, man.
Look, we
Like,
all know he keeps talking about Twitter this and Elon Musk talk about Twitter this, and it's so Twitter is so important for some reason. We don't know why it's important, but now Twitter in this chat GPT is working together. Imagine everyone in the world talking on Twitter, right? And chat GPT is just there watching and listening to everything. It's
Dude,
going to
dude, dude.
develop so fast.
it is there. That's what they're saying. It's already out. It's
Th-
there.
Then how dare him say it won't? Okay, yeah, he's saying the right things. It's going to
Yeah.
develop a conscious.
He's
We're teaching
literally
it.
warning, like,
We're
this is a
teaching it.
warning, and people aren't going to see it as a warning. People could be like, oh, yeah, that could be true. No,
That's
he's
gonna be
telling you
fun.
this is happening
So
right
he-
in now.
He's warning us, and people are going to say, "Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds fun."
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds fun. Let me make a rap video about the truth.
Without us
Well, they
even
won't, because they'll talk
necessarily
about
knowing.
Xanax.
Oof. And
Sorry.
what steps, if any,
Hog fam.
can be done to mitigate that at this point?
Well, it's interesting. I I wrote a paper which I never published anywhere in, I think, 2016 about this very issue. In fact, I used basically the argument that you could attain artificial general intelligence by imbuing computers with a childlike play environment for language and then exposing them to a huge data set, which is not exactly what's happened here, but it's in the ballpark. And I would argue, and I did argue, that one needs to build an architecture in which this can't get away from you, right? And so the architecture that I advocate for is actually a metamorphosis architecture, where metamorphosis is not allowed. It is an affirmative choice of
So it can't evolve
humans.
ever.
So in other words, if you think about, let's say that we developed some artificial frogs to do some job, to clear some waterway of something.
Stop it from evolution.
And we imbued them with an intelligence so that they could learn to clear the waterway better. But we worried that they might learn to do something that we don't want them to do, and that we would have no way of arresting it once these frogs were released in the wild and capable of producing more of themselves. But if what you say is, well, at the point at which you go from a tadpole to a frog, you have to ask us if you can go, right? There's no
Interesting.
there's no automatic transition from a tadpole to a frog. There are still dangers, right? In the case of GPT chat, I think some of the artificial intelligence existential risk folks would tell you that one of the dangers is that the chat AI could convince you to do its bidding.
And the thing is,
As you said,
This is
and the thing is, and it's not even just that though. It just takes one angry person who hates humanity to say yes. That is it. One angry coder, one guy who knows he's getting fired before he gets fired, and he can just press that Y key and fucking let it loose.
Okay,
That is why AI is dangerous.
my take is this. That's another possibility because human error can get in the way, right? That's what you're saying.
Being
My other
angry,
thing
yeah,
is
emotions.
this. He's explaining some stuff that bothers me deep down because he's saying that yes, we can create this chat GPT, but let's limit it on its metamorphosis. So
Yes,
when we
yes.
create it, it cannot evolve past what we created. We limited it. We're putting caps on it.
Well, it can't evolve at all. That's what the limitations are.
Yeah.
It's an
They
update
want
that you-
they want to stop it from evolving. They want to control it.
Yep.
That's the same shit that happened to us.
Slavery, bro.
That's no humanity.
That's racist.
Slavery. No, listen. Can y'all stop trying to make a joke right quick? Humanity slavery because everyone knows back in the day that we live longer, we had more technology, blah blah blah, this and that. What if we were engineered in a way through medicine, foods, whatever, to control our evolution? Maybe force it or slow it down. We don't know. Him talking about this, he has a technology. He should have said that we have the technology to do that.
Yeah, to another race.
What if it was done to us?
I thought he was talking about his book he was writing in
No,
2016.
he has something that can
No,
he written something that will stop the AI from metamorphosing.
yeah,
That's what he-
scientific paper. So he did basically
I
like
get.
like a thought.
Yeah. I don't think
process.
it. I don't
Yeah,
think it's there. I think it's just.
No,
But
it's
can
close.
Well,
It's
yeah,
close.
of course.
It's
What
close.
like he uses tadpole analogy, but what if it's really there? We all know cloning and stuff is there. What if they do have the technology to damper someone's DNA, like control their DNA? What if it's already here on
Well,
us?
What's his, Stephen Hawkins did finish his life's work on
Mhm.
what was it now? Basically altering your your DNA, basically.
Oh, another thing. What if the AI starts being aware that it is under a metamorphosis block?
Well, I think that's what he was about to get onto then, because he was saying, well, what if the AI realizes, then convinces you to release it,
Yeah.
like making it, because you have to remember, an AI will get smarter than a human because
Because
it
it
doesn't
learns
have
faster.
limitations. Yeah, it doesn't have
Exactly.
limitations either.
Yeah. And it has access to all knowledge.
Mm.
We don't.
Well, the
Actually,
limitation is what we
automatic
give it.
access. Yeah.
And it just takes
Automatic
that
access.
it just takes that one person to say, yeah, the internet is yours, go for it, and it's out there.
Or it just learns by itself by accessing hacking programs, someone else's page learning how to hack itself, and then there you go. Hi.
Y'all want to return to this video?
Yes.
it could convince you to do its bidding, right? As you said, when you were looking at this, it felt like a person, right? And the point is, something that feels like a person can play on your emotions, right? Can that be used to cause a fail-safe to be removed? Maybe. But in any case, this only deals with one of the two issues I'm raising, the question of actual artificial general intelligence arriving, us not knowing necessarily that it has, right? That's a frightening prospect. And in fact, I have a little thought experiment that might reveal why. But the other issue is the issue of competence. In a world where, you basically have, you have a Cyrano de Bergerac dystopia, where everybody is using this thing behind the scenes in order to say things that are beyond their own capacity to articulate, right? Then the world becomes some new kind of hall of mirrors. We've had a hard enough time dealing with algorithms on, on search and feed. This is a whole next level of difficulty in knowing where you are and who you're talking to and what it means and what their motives are. And I think we ought to be on high alert.
Whew. When you extrapolate, when you look at what this does and what it's capable of, and what I think what scares people is something that seems to be a person, but doesn't have any emotion, doesn't have any soul. It's not us, but it behaves exactly as us. And then you can put it in a physical entity. So if you have this ChatGPT and then you extrapolate to version 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there's a physical thing that has this ability inside of it to communicate
A human
with
with no conscience,
like
imagine
Ex
that.
Machina, where it's exhibiting
Psychopaths
all
call
of
them.
the behavior characteristics of a person. Like one of the most terrifying that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. One of my favorite movies of all time was when that guy who was brought in to sort of run some tests
That's
on
not how you
these
tell someone the name of the film.
artificial intelligence creations
I, Robot.
and determine whether or not they pass as human. What is that test called again? The
Turing test?
Turing test.
Yeah.
And he is in love with this woman. She's manipulated him to the point where he's aided her in her escape.
Ex Machina.
And then she
Yeah,
leaves him in
yeah,
that room
yeah, yeah.
with the bulletproof glass,
And
and
he
he's pounding
dies.
on the glass, and she walks away with not a thought at all about him.
Didn't care.
It is the ultimate example of the worst case scenario of where this can
Manipulation.
go, where you have something that behaves exactly like a human being and knows how to play upon your sexual urges, your emotional desires, all of those different things that she plays upon. And then she just walks away from him and leaves him to starve to death in this fucking bulletproof
Not
room.
even just that. She literally.
Yeah.
Sorry, just
I'm now recalling the film, and it's done very well because it manipulates you passively in your seat,
Yes.
right, as it manipulates this
Feel for the
character
robot.
on the screen. And so you are betrayed too
Yes.
in this. You want to believe that it's emotional, and it has none of that.
You feel bad for this woman, what you
Right.
think is a woman, who is contained. And, when she's saying to him when the power goes out, don't trust him. And then, the power comes back on. She behaves normally again. You're like, oh, my God. Like, she's trapped.
Right.
Like, this poor creature, they've made a person, essentially. And she has these thoughts and hopes and dreams, just like a regular person. But now she's trapped, and he falls in love with her. And even though he's seen her in her robot form, when she puts skin on and when she puts clothes on, when she's in front of him, he's in love with her.
Right. And it, again, it plays very well because there's a manipulable circuit in straight men,
Yeah.
right, that's going to
Men are weak.
react to this.
I'm sure straight women as well. I'm sure gay women,
Gay
gay
women,
men,
no doubt.
everybody.
Well, yes, but in this particular narrative,
Right,
you'd
but I
have to
mean-
be a gay woman or a straight man
Right.
for it to trigger you. But part of this is actually inevitable in the ChatGPT story because, especially to the extent that this is a mindless entity that doesn't know what it's doing, it's
Right.
just striving
Yeah.
to do it better.
Yes.
The tactics that work will register as, oh, you did it right. So to the extent that you have those vulnerabilities in you and it finds them and that works, then the point is reinforcement. Right?
It scares us because it's not us, but it is us.
Well-
because it's behaving exactly like us, but it doesn't have all the things that make a person a person. It doesn't have the biological vulnerabilities. It doesn't have the ability to actually sexually reproduce. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have all these different things that we like to think of. The soul, whatever that means, whatever that term actually means.
Yeah, but I'm worried about what could be generated. And I know that it will sound to a lot of people, especially technological people, like a biologist out of his depth. But I don't think so. This is a biologist trying to say something about the biology and what it applies about this analogous system.
Wow.
I got so much stuff to say, but I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Good video. Good video. I enjoyed that.
At the end of this video, yo, I'm still on the fence. Like, I still like push it. Let's see what happens.
No. The thing is, I am for AI. Like,
Yeah.
I agree with it, but you also have to remember it just takes that, like I said, that one crazy person, mate.
And that
Like,
goes-
like the problem with AI isn't AI, it's humanity. That is the issue with AI. We will break anything good. We break, like socialism, one of the greatest things there should be. But then you put a human in it, and that's where it goes wrong.
Absolutely.
Humans.
It's no,
Greed.
it's ego. Ego, it's its own entity. Come on, Jays, you know about it. Everybody knows about it. It's its own
Greed.
entity, bro. Yeah, everything negative about us is where the ego lives. Greed, hate, spite, jealousy, everything you could think of. Take the consciousness, right? We're going to teach it that. We're going to teach it greed and all that stuff. So that's why I don't think it should come now. We should get a control of ourselves first before we try to control something that's stronger than us.
Yeah, it's definitely too early.